Hey, my name's Nathan. I love movies and think smart thoughts. So what I'm going to do for you is break down this movie, The Titanic, that everyone keeps talking about, but they can't figure it out. I've never seen this movie, but since I live the Hollywood life, I'll be able to figure it out and tell you what the heck's going on. By the way, I'm boxing in Creator Clash 3 this summer, June 28th in Tampa, Florida. Get your pay-per-view tickets to watch it at home or in-person tickets at the website creatorclash.com. Thanks, I can't wait to destroy another human. This video is in honor of Valentine's Day approaching. We're going to embrace the spirit of romance, kisses, and going to second base, because the film The Titanic is one of the world's favorite ones about love. It was even the #1 most gone to movies of all time. People looked at it so much that it's earned $2,264 million. The director, James Cameron, was able to buy any sandwich he wanted to afterwards. Nowadays, The Titanic is the #4 most looked at movie because the director, Jimmy Cameron, went and made 2 other movies that have beaten the boat. Now, big earnings means big budget, big boat, and even big long time. The movie is 3 hours long. So let's hurry it up, for crying out loud. It's a good thing this boat is so big, because I can fit all of my Patreon supporters on it. Thank you to you guys for helping me do these videos. If it wasn't for you, no one would know what the heck these movies were about. Finally, we can all enjoy them, and with the power of hypertext transfer protocol, I'm able to share my thoughts with the world. Become a Patreon supporter to help me help you. Movie starts with a bunch of 90s nerds in a sub underneath the entire ocean looking at the boat. Then Bruce Valanche busts out Wally and they sniff around for a necklace, but all they find is some dirty old boobs. Then the oldest woman on the planet of Earth says, "Hey, those are my boobs. No free peeks." So she storms over to the boat to take back her breasts. When on the boat of wet perverts, she says, "Let me tell you a 3-hour tale of the movie Titanic." Then it's 1912, and the geezer is now young and rich. Her and her sombrero board the boat. Across the street, Leo DiCap gambles his 1 penny for a ticket to the grave. Yay, we're going to die. Wow, lifelike graphics. Boat is huge. Peasants get cozy in the basement, and Red Boobs moves her Picassos into her apartment at sea. Boys sniff the wind on the hood of the boat. Then Yellow Boy says famous line, "I'm the king of the world!" Big Red has bagel bites with Boat Builder himself, who says boat is the biggest thing human guys ever did. Then they all said rich, rude guy stuff, and Big Red was like, pshh. Then when sniffing wind, Red is like, "What's that smell?" "Oh, it's poverty." "Hey, poverty doesn't look so bad." Then the boyfriend is like, "Hey, stop making me look stupid and sniffing all these other guys out here." Then she's like, "Your Sharpie eyebrows make you look stupid enough." Then it's nighttime and Red is like, "This fancy feast is cringe, I'm gonna kill myself." So she tries to jump off the boat, but Yellow is like, "Have you ever been to Wisconsin?" And she's like, "Back off, I'm busy dying." And he's like, "Come on, don't die, because then we won't be able to be in this movie together." And then she's like, "Oh yeah, the residuals are gonna be crazy." Boyfriend's like, "Hey, thanks for saving Red. Come on by tomorrow night, we're having stovetop." Then Eyebrows busts out a Chaos Emerald and is like, "You can't break up with me now, huh?" She's like, "F, now I gotta keep being rich." The next day, her and Oliver Twist are sniffing wind, and he's like, "Do you love the boyfriend?" And she's like, "Whoa, you're crazy. How do you speak so freely and live without restraint?" And he's like, "'Cause I'm an art dude." Then she's like, "Nah, that's not art. That's hentai." Then he's like, "Have you ever disrespected the ocean?" And she's like, "Orphan, what?" And he shows her how to Haktua the dolphins. As they're spitting on fish, Red's yuppie mom and company stroll up and are like, "Lil Red, chill. The only spitting we do is financially upon the lower class in form of less taxes. Now let's chug some grub." Then the boat designer is like, "Hey, Captain, let's drop this baby into 5th gear and do some brak, brak, brak. Let's really see how fast this bucket can go. Maybe drag some knuckles like the 12 o'clock boys, pull a wheelie into New York City, and then everyone will be like, wow, not only is it the biggest, but it's also the sickest." And the captain is like, "Whoa, that is unsafe. But yeah, sure, okay." Later, at dinner, Yellowhead gets the 3rd degree from the people in the shiny clothes. Big Red is like, "Why aren't you rich like us?" And he's like, "I'm actually rich in life experience, and each new day is a check in the bank." And the shiny people are like, "Yellow, you're chill." And she's like, "Yeah, well, at least I can afford to eat dead fish abortions." Then the boys go to poison their lungs, and the ladies stare off at their safe, desolate futures. Yellow Jack then passes Lil Red Rose a note. Oh yeah, his name is Jack. Yellow hair is Jack. Red is Rose. See, I told you I'd help you figure this thing out. His note says, meet me in 1 second. Then in 1 second, she meets him and he says, wanna go to a real party? Then he takes her to the basement where he lives and she experiences poor people for the first time. Yellow Jack says, hey, let's do dancing. And she's like, no way, that's crazy. What if I die? And he's like, see you in heaven. And he pulls her onto the dance floor. Then they impress the peasants with random foot movements and they spin in circles like from the trailer of the movie Titanic. Then they see dudes arm wrestling and she's like, whatever, that's not tough. I can do toes. And no one cares. Uh-oh, rich old guy doesn't like inter-class relationship. The next morning, Eyebrows didn't have his Folgers or something because he was like, how dare you enjoy enjoyment in the basement last night instead of having misery with me? And she's like, I'm your marital fiancé. Fancy. What? How do you say that? Finance. And he's like, yes, actually, that's what our foreboding marriage will be. I own you. And then he says to her, check it out. Jack from The Shining's got nothing on me. I don't need an axe to defeat the door because I can kill Table with mere fingertips. That'll be you, Lil Red, unless you smarten up. Then Big Red shows up and is like, all right, listen, kid, I just checked the ATM and it told me 0. Kid's like, yeah, I know. Now it's up to you to live a life of hell with eyebrows so we can eat fish eggs. Otherwise, I'll have to do the unholy deed of a job. I'd rather die on this ship from a disastrous crash than get a job. Lil Red's like, ugh. Captain Crunch gets apparently a second warning that there's big ice cubes in the water. And he's like, we don't have to worry because I'm gonna go super fast. Ice cubes can't catch us. Then Lil Red says to Boat Builder, I ran the numbers and we don't have enough lifeboats for everybody. And Builder is like, no crap. If we did that, then the boat would look cluttered, so we opted for fashion over function. And she's like, gulp. Then Yellow Peasant sneaks Rich Red into a room and says, hey, I want to break you out of rich prison and you can join me and I'll split my $10 with you. And she's like, nah. Then after a moment of societal contemplation, Red joins Yellow on the hood of the boat. And she's like, look. And he's like, shut your lips. I'm listening to the Ceiling Diane song from the Titanic soundtrack. Then, a mere day after trying to save Red from falling off the edge of the boat, he puts her on the edge of the boat. Smart. Flash forward to Lil Red as an old dude, and she's like, that's the last day the boat lived. Back on the ghost ship, Lil Red is like, check out my cool boobs. And Yellow is like, super gulp. Then he takes a picture of her cool boobs with a pencil. Henchman is now on the hunt for Lil Red. He catches her in the act of youthful joy with Yellow, then hijinks ensue. They escape Hench and find themselves in the bowels of the ship. They then take part in boning in a car in a boat. She is murdered with pleasure. Ice Cube lookout guys are like, we could see ice cubes better if we had binoculars. Eyebrow finds paper JPEG of cool boobs and is like, these used to bring me joy. Now they bring me anger. Red and Yellow suck tongue, and lookout boys are like, hey, check it out, first base. Then they turn around and see Death pointing a frozen shotgun at their heads. They call Steering Wheel Man and say, huge ice cube, 12 o'clock. Everyone is like, yikes, but it's too late. The Ice Bucket Challenge has won this round. Boat says, we had a nice run. 1 and done. Captain says, everyone relax. Then Eyebrows frames Yellow for thieving the super diamond. Boatman and Captain are like, we blew it, big time. 2 hours until death. Yellow gets cuffed to a wall, and Hench and his gun stare at him. Then he says, I shall not be joining you at the bottom of the ocean. Liver shot. The yuppies are getting into lifeboats, and Eyebrows is like, rich people rule and poor people shall die. Then Red is like, F you, family. But Eyebrows will not stand for her disdain and says, you're a peasant whore. It is then that Lil Red puts her loogie lessons to use, and she escapes the clutches of cold, hard cash. She runs to find her yellow love as he awaits certain death. Finally, she finds Yellow, and they're like, there's too many keys. So Red leaves to find more keys, I guess. At this point, it's been 2 hours of movie, and I was like, I gotta take a dump. Thank God it's almost over. But VCR told me, fat chance. There's still an hour left. Oh my God, this is so long. Well, Bowels did not agree to this, so I paused the movie and lost 6 pounds. Now feeling rejuvenated, we meet up with Lil Red once again to see she has gone full Jack Torrance and is like, here's Johnny all over the handcuffs. Red and Yellow join the peasant friends and plan their escape. Meanwhile, Eyebrows says what's most important to him. Money. Boat cops tell peasants, go away. Then peasants tell the gate, you won't like me when I'm angry. Gate dies. Peasants escape. Outside is pure chaos and there's no more small boats. Ladies and kids are allowed to live, but men must die. Yellow tells Red, go live. But Red is like, I only live with Yellow. Then Eyebrows from out of like nowhere is like, please live, Red. Eyebrows is like, don't worry, I have a boat with Yellow's name on it. And Red is like, okay, thick. See you in the Big Apple. She then watches her two boyfriends fade into the night. Eyebrows is like, haha, I pranked you, Yellow. You're gonna die. I'm rich. I'll live forever. All I do is win-win no matter what. Then Red is like, psych, I hate living. Then jumps back onto the wet coffin because she needs more first base. Eyebrows is like, I never lose. Using simple math, Eyebrows deduces that the only thing that defeats true love is bullets. He shoots many bullets at their love, but love wins and Red and Yellow escape. Eyebrows then says, hee hee, I blew it. Diamond is in her coat pocket. F my life. Red and Yellow are good Samaritans, then have altercations with every gate on the boat until Keys finally defeat Final Gate. Outside, chaos still reigns, and Boat Cop is like, y'all are not chill. So he shoots Peasant, then says, this job sucks, I quit. Eyebrow steals a kid and uses it to save his life. Red and Yellow see the boat's dad and say, sorry that your boat sucks. Peace. Band plays themselves into the grave like wet champions. 10 hours later, the boat finally succumbs to the Atlantic, and Red is like, hey, this is where we met. And Fate is like, this is where you part. Then they take a frozen elevator to hell. Red and Yellow then spend many a moment floating in the frigid sorrow. And I have to be honest, this was incredibly sad. Movie said to me, it's time to cry. And I was like, as you wish. Red is like, I love Yellow. And Yellow is like, you're gonna live life and have babies and ride dirt bikes and say yeehaw all the days until you're a geezer. Tonight, you do not die. You defeat the Reaper. Me, on the other hand, not so much. But hey, at least I got to see her cool boobs. Peace. It was the most beautiful thing I ever seen. The end. Okay, never mind. Movie says there's more. Boat Cop then combs the wet desert through a literal sea of chill corpses. Other boat shows up and 700 orphans say Dankeschön. Red sees Eyebrows and dodges that domestic hell. The end. Nope. More movie. Boat Boy says, what's your name, lady? And she's like, Red Dawson. And then I cry again, for that is Yellow's last name. Love. It does me in every time. And with that, the movie has to be over. But you would be wrong if you thought so. Submarine Man says, I never found the diamond. Boo-hoo. Then Red Geezer mounts the back of the ship and says, hey, corpse husband, have some money. And throws the diamond into the entire ocean. The end is what you would say if the movie was over. But this movie never ends. You live here now. Geezer goes to sleep and we see through 100 framed pieces of photographic evidence that she brought with her on this random trip that she indeed lived a full life doing all the things Yellow was going to do with her, just as he requested. More tears have infected my face. Now, through a curtain of moisture, I witness the Geezer pass on to the other realm where she is met by the other frozen dead all together on the ship back in 1912, awaiting her arrival. It is here that she is reunited with her true Yellow love. And with that, 3 hours, 7 minutes, and 15 seconds later, movie commands more tears and I obey. The end. My God, I should have watched this sooner. That movie was great. Thanks for watching this video. Happy Valentine's Day. Patreon supporters, I love you. Please help me make my movie. Donate to the Indiegogo. Adios.